Welcome back to the Gold Room, where we're taking our suppliers from the mic right out to the mine site. Today we have Trevor from Macnaught. Thanks very much for coming in, Trev.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Welcome, Trev. Thanks for coming in.
Trev, give us a bit of a rundown of the life and times of Trev from Macnaught.
Trev from Macnaught. So Trev turned 57 this year.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Aussie all the way.
Beautiful.
Come from a Irish background back in the 1800s. The family emigrated to Tasmania following the gold rush. So basically they set up camp in Tasmania in Beaconsfield. We all know where Beaconsfield is.
Yep,
Heard
sure
on the
do.
news. And then basically the family, the original guy had 13 kids. They spread out all over the country. They followed the gold rush to Ballarat.
Wow.
And then they followed the gold rush over to Kalgoorlie, where my dad and my granddad, and I think another relative above that, was born in Kalgoorlie. So a bit of an affinity with Australia, with a bit of mining. I used to do, I'll say probably go back 20 years when I started fitting automatic grease systems. So I was going out to different mine sites, fixed plan and mining and fitting grease systems, working with the guys who work on the mines, doing visits, doing maintenance and all that sort of stuff. So then really getting an appreciation for what's going on out there and the sort of equipment that people are using. So basically right up to present day working for Macnaught, I sort of transitioned into sales from being on the tools. I found because I could talk well, I knew what the products were, and I was keen to seek solutions for people. So
Awesome.
So basically that was my motivator or my driver to get into sales. And since I've been with Macnaught for 6.5 years this year, I've never looked back. I really think it's the best job I've had so far. So tons of experience with Macnaught. Highlights are going to Auto Mechanica in Frankfurt a couple of years ago to represent the company.
Awesome.
The Brisbane Truck Show, and going around to all the agricultural field days around Australia, like AgQuip in Gunnedah and Farm World in Victoria.
Oh, so you're travelling all over Australia with your
I have
role?
done. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm based here in WA, but during the years I've been asked to go and do different gigs because fill in for other people and just to represent the company.
Yep.
South Australia, all over the place. So had a really good time of it.
Awesome, mate. Well, look, how long's Macnaught been in business?
76 years this year.
Well, another birthday party.
Yeah. So started in 1948 as an Australian manufacturer, and pretty much serviced through Castrol, and then went to the market ourselves. So
Okay.
and we still make over 60% of our products in Sydney.
Wow, awesome. That's always good, eh?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
So is that where the Macnaught headquarters
Yeah,
are
yep,
located in
yep.
Sydney?
Yep, Torella in Sydney.
Yeah, beauty. Do you guys have any more like regional branches around?
Yeah, so you'll find we're in Auckland. We've got a warehouse there. We're all across Australia. We have 10 salespeople in Australia. We have Macnaught in USA and Florida.
Yeah, right.
Macnaught USA Canada
Do
started this
you
year.
do they send you over to?
I'm waiting for the invitation.
I
for those
reckon, same
places.
here.
Yeah, like-
What do you reckon, Cisco? We get a little bloody Macnaught trip.
Oh, I wouldn't mind going to Canada for a trip.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I'm sure my name's on the list there somewhere. Essentially, and we're also in UK as well. So,
Awesome.
we export to 60 different countries, and it's all based and owned from Australia.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, I was actually just going to ask for the international Macnaught operations. Is that are they manufacturing over in those?
No, it's all coming from Sydney.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's great.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Americans love our retractor hose reels, our flow meters.
Awesome.
The massive growth over there.
Mate, what industries is Macnaught involved in? Obviously, it's not just mining.
Yep. So, agriculture, aviation, manufacturing, like chemicals and refining. So, anywhere you can have a fluid going through it, there's a Macnaught product there measuring it or dispensing it. So, across all industry.
Tell us a bit about your extensive product range, mate. Like you've obviously got your retractable reel hoses there and
Yep.
whatnot. They're a very well known thing. I see them every mine site I go to.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. We make over 30,000 of those retractor reels a year.
Wow.
That's impressive numbers.
We put robots on the line last year, and we didn't get rid of people. So basically,
That's awesome. I was just about to say, how many people had to lose their job, which is not great for Australian economy.
That's the first question everyone asks is, who lost their job because we got a robot? So the guys tend the robot, maintain it, and also take all the goods away that the robot packages as well. So they are an integral part of the process as well as maintaining the robot with all of its products, so it can do its job.
Awesome.
Yeah, and increase production.
Yeah. So look, a little bit further on, what's Macnaught known for in the mining industry? As Cisco said, like every site we go to, there's a retractor reel hanging up on the wall, whether it be air or water, or whatever. So delve into a bit of that for us, mate.
So pretty much, if you're a fitter, you'll come into your workshop and there'll be a grease pump there, there'll be a grease hose reel, there'll be a grease gun sitting there, like the one on the desk here, the K29.
Yep.
So, with grease, it starts with a hand product and then a battery product and then an air product. Okay. So typically in mining, in the workshop, you'll see some greasing product. Then you'll find there'll be air reels like you mentioned, and air tools that run off of that.
Yep.
And then basically might be water that they need in their workshop as well, so they'll run the water through that. And then typically in a mechanical workshop, they'll have the full service equipment of oils and trans fluids and coolant. So all that stuff will be plumbed up from a tank, through a Macnaught pump, through a Macnaught hose reel, through a Macnaught meter, and then the handgun and into the machine. So
awesome. Yeah, we're actually gonna be showing some videos or some short footage of the Macnaught product in use. So like all the different, they all have different colours, don't they?
Yep.
So run us through the colours, the colour range.
Oh, for the hose reels.
Yep.
So there's pretty much most people think that you're going to get a red colour for an air reel. Blue's going to be for water or air water. Green will be for water as well. And then we've gone through and created a whole black range of hose reels so that, they're always getting dirty.
Yep.
If they want to have all the same colour, you can basically colour match and have them all black as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
That's with the poly reels. Yeah.
Okay. So how are you? How's someone out on site if they're all bloody black? How's someone able to go? Well, that's water, that's air, that's grease, that's
tell
whatever.
the difference.
Yeah.
Well, usually on site they have to have a placard there that's going to tell them what's coming out of that hose reel. Typically, right at the point of where you're going to grab the gun.
Yep.
You can distinguish it between one's going to have an airline reel on it and a air fitting on it. One will have a tap on it or something like for the water.
Yep.
And typically, if it's oil, it's going to have an oil control gun with potentially a flow meter on it. So you're going to look at it and you're going to think, water's not going to come out of that. It's going to be oil. So,
mate, I tell you what, there's newcomers to mining every day.
Yeah.
And there's no question. It's a silly question out there.
Yeah.
Some silly people sometimes, but I think that's a fair question.
Yeah, I think by the time they get to the workshop and they're going to be doing that stuff and they're allowed to work on machines, they're going to be able to tell the difference.
You'd hope so, mate. You'd hope so, Cisco, right?
Yeah, well, I've seen some pretty shockers out there.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy.
Fast track people.
Yeah, definitely. It does happen out there. So what are the ones you got up here, the BOP range?
So the BOP, the battery operated pump system, so that was invented or released about 4 years ago. So that was while I was at Macnaught. It's a patented worldwide product. Macnaught conceived it and created it in-house. It's like I said, it's patented worldwide. It won the Good Design Award Australia in 2022.
Oh, awesome.
It also it's got an export award as well. So basically, it's a modular pump system. You can pump all your service fluids instead of using a hand pump. So hand pumps are hard work, and the thicker the oil, the harder it is to pump. So anyone who's ever had to pump 20 litres of gear oil into something by hand really knows what a struggle that can be.
Yep.
And this bad boy here will just take all that pain and heartache out of it. You just have to squeeze the trigger. So essentially, because it's modular, the top part disconnects with that latch. You can see up the top that black part.
Yep.
And you leave the leg in your drum all set up. It's all sealed off from the environment, so it can't get any contamination in there. And so it's ready to go when you bring that power head over to it, connect it on, and off you go. Flick the switch. And it's on demand. So you squeeze the trigger, the oil comes out. When you release the trigger, the pressure switch mechanism senses pressure and stops the pump. So it doesn't stall it, it actually stops. So it's on demand, truly on-demand oil system.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. I wish I had one when we were out on the farm. Been a lot of times on the old hand pump, filling up tractors and whatnot, and it's hard yakka.
It's especially good. Like I've got a demo in my car that I take around because, seeing's believing. People want to see how it works to get an understanding of it. I serviced my son's Nissan Patrol with this. I did the trans case, the both diffs, and the engine oil or the battery pump system didn't have to pump it once
Awesome.
and wasted no oil whatsoever because you can get a meter for it as well. So
Yep.
exactly what you're doing, no wastage.
Yeah, that's what you want. And certainly on my side, everyone's trying to, save some dollary dues. That's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah, and you don't need a compressor. You can chuck it on the ute and go and do that top up wherever you need to straight away. You don't need to tag it out. It's not electrical.
Yep.
What kind of battery life are you getting out of that kind of?
So typically you'll get 100 litres of oil around the 1040 engine oil range for the 2 amp hour battery.
Yeah.
And we've got a 3 amp hour battery, so I think you get around double that out of that one.
Yeah, beauty.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Mate, where's Macnaught heading as a company? In the future, have they got any research and development teams underway? You got some new products that you can talk about, products that under development maybe you can't talk about?
So we're always, Macnaught prides itself on innovation. So basically, like the battery operated pump is a worldwide patented product. We've got another patent on a system within our retractor hose reels that controls how fast the hose reel can return.
Oh,
'Cause
awesome.
you know when you're back there and you're 20 metres
Sure
and
do.
you let that bad boy go.
Oh yeah.
Bang! Look out, everybody.
Yeah.
Problems. So safety's king. Safety ticks a box for a lot of people. The adjustable control return system, you can adjust how fast a hose reel returns.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
And then the third patent that we have is a KY plus grease coupler.
Okay.
So everyone goes KY. Haha.
Yep.
Heard that before.
Yep.
Heard it a million times.
Yeah.
We were KY before KY was KY. Okay. So,
yeah.
So basically,
the KY guy.
yeah. So this grease coupler, essentially, you push it on to connect it. When you finish greasing, you pull the T-piece to relieve it, and the whole thing, and you basically take it off. When you're greasing, you get back pressure a lot of the time, and the more back pressure you get, the harder it is to get the coupler off.
Okay.
So the KY Plus grease coupler will always disconnect under pressure.
Yep.
So if you've ever greased anything with a grease gun or any type of thing, and you're getting that back pressure, that connector will not come off.
Wow.
And then basically, if that guy's got 50 grease points to do, and he's going to struggle with one, how is he going to do 50 more? He's just going to go, no, this is just not right.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Machines
Yeah, I
end
was
up
do-
not
Yeah,
getting grease.
he
Yeah,
might
that's right.
not get grease fully today. So
Yep.
I don't have
Gearboxes
enough
and
time.
motors
Yeah,
on site.
yeah.
Not really
So-
happy about that, eh?
Yeah.
So if you can take that heartache out of a job for anyone, I reckon it's a great thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because
For
you
sure.
grease the machinery almost daily when you're on mine sites too, and you
100%.
want to be able to do that with ease, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a shitty job as it is.
Yeah, that's
You know,
it.
Make it easy.
why make it harder?
Yep, you got to make it easy. Make everything easy and everyone will do it.
Too right. And the safety aspect. Sorry to cut you off. The safety aspect of it is basically it's got a built-in pressure relief system. So when you release the coupler, it takes that pressure out. So because when you're pumping, you can get up to 5,000 psi with a grease gun, or up to 10,000 with this. And if you break the end of that grease nipple off, that comes back at you and can squirt into your skin. So the grease coupler actually takes a majority of that pressure away when you release it as well. So,
Oh,
so it's
wow.
got that built-in
Yeah,
mechanism.
that's something I've never known before. That
Yeah.
much kind of pressure.
That's what we
some wild
patented
stuff.
within the product.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so world first, new, patented, innovative stuff that no one else has got.
That's fantastic. That's what you want. So a company that's on the forefront, company that's looking at ways to do things differently.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
and easier.
Yep.
Awesome. And what about your safety kind of products? Obviously, you've got that one there and whatnot. Do you have
And,
any more?
So I mentioned the adjustable control in the hose reel. We make a line of fire-resistant anti-static hose reels as well.
Yeah, right.
So that can be a thing. We make a range of product that is underground safe. So it's got made of aluminium as opposed to steel, because steel can spark or whatever. So there's a whole range of our products, like the K29 grease gun here. We have an underground model for that as well. So if you want to tie that
Everything's
into
gotta be a bit
safety,
tougher
it has to
underground.
tick
Yep.
a box. It has to be
Safe for
It's
work
basically
in oil and gas industries?
Yep, if it's intrinsically safe for underground, yes.
Yep, beautiful. Oh, that's awesome.
Trev, pretend I'm a mechanical supervisor out on site and you've just rocked up. What's your kind of go-to sales pitch when you're out in them kind of situations, mate?
Well, firstly, you can't just rock up. That's just not happening anymore. Back in the day, you'd take the back road, you'd sneak up the access road and you'd sneak into site. You try and sheepishly walk around without being too noticed and ask who's in charge, or go to reception and risk it for the biscuit there.
Yep. Try and track down a maintenance bloke, maintenance superintendent.
Hoping that you would find someone who wasn't on break or a decision maker or something like that, and then, muck around. And then, you've driven this far.
How far? What's the furthest that you used? What's the furthest that you drove from Perth?
So out of Broome, there's a few places out of Broome I've been to.
Yep.
And it's like, so, to go to Broome, it's $1,000 flights, no problem at all.
Each way, or
probably around 1,600 return, I'd say.
Yep.
Then you've got to have a car, so you've got to get a mine site approved vehicle.
Yep.
Then you've got to have your accommodation there. So basically, because you've got to have somewhere to stay, and Broome's like, say we're using Broome as an example, minimum $400 a night for any place in Broome.
Yep.
So and you're going up there, you're going a fair way, you're flying. You're not just going to do it for a day or two. So you're going to go out and you're going to try and find what you're trying to find.
Yep.
And then basically good luck getting onto site. If you do manage to rock up and you don't get driven off, then try and find the right decision maker.
Yep. Commercial superintendents
it's
hard
just,
to find.
It's just
hard to come by nowadays.
Yeah, it's just not a good plan. And what used to work in the old days doesn't work anymore. And basically these guys are flat out. They don't want to see you anyway. They don't want you rocking up unannounced. It's just like, what the hell's this guy doing here? Don't let him anywhere near me type scenario. So,
look, the guys on site have PMs to do.
Yeah.
They've got sometimes they've got breakdowns, either planned or unplanned. Supervisors and superintendents have got enough to contend with on site. If they want to know about a product, surely there's a better option. That's actually how this came about, Trev.
Yeah.
The difficulties associated with getting suppliers on site, and good suppliers, much like yourself.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable blokes that have been in the industry for years, who've got so much knowledge to give, and you just need a platform to be able to deliver it on. So
Yeah.
hopefully this is it's what we aim to do here.
Yeah, and typically that guy, he may be the decision maker, but he's not the guy who's going to create the order. He's going to give that command to someone else. And then they're going to do their diligence and checking and all that sort of stuff.
Yep. And then that guy goes on break.
Yeah. And then
that guy's busy worrying about flying out, having a shower, packing his bag.
Yeah.
And suddenly poor old bloody Macnaught loses a $20,000 order.
Yeah.
Or it slows it right down.
So I really see the value in this very specific fine-tuned way of getting through to people in their time that they choose, to listen to the message succinctly rather than a whole bunch of other crap, because you're going to go there and try and bombard them with everything because you want to get the scattergun approach. You want to try and hit them with everything you can, which is just going to make them...
We've got flow meters.
Yeah.
We've got
I've
retractor reels.
got
We've
everything.
got
How much do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like... For
It's
these
the last
people,
thing you want when you're on site is
Yeah.
someone just bombarding you with all that
because
information.
old
isn't
mate
it?
just come and told you that there's a breakdown on line 1, line 2. Old mate didn't turn up for shift. There's a truck down.
That
down
happens all the
back
time
there,
in mining.
and production guys screaming.
Bloke's not reliable on site, mate. Changing the flights.
Yep.
It's difficult. It's expensive.
Yep. And then they've got their production deadlines. They've got stuff to do. So you sort of try and get to work with that program.
Yep.
And do the guys the decency of doing that for them. So
Yeah, for sure. So if you were able to, that's your question, right? So if you were able to get out onto site, what is your sales pitch to the, whether it be the storeman, whether it be, let's say you had a room of a maintenance superintendent and a couple of his supervisors and 3 or 4 fitters. So what's your go-to?
So pretty much being in the fuel, oil and grease spectrum, I'm going to ask them about their mobile equipment pretty much first, because that's usually their biggest pain.
Yep.
Where they've got leaks, where they've got inconsistencies with product, when they're servicing. Typically, a lot of sites have service trucks as well.
Yep.
So basically that thing will be carting around all the oil and all the fuel that keeps all the machines running through the day that don't come back to the workshop.
Yep.
So basically it's a fully mobile type operation. So it'll be a standalone mobile workshop, which is supported by the main workshop. So typically if that thing's not working, production doesn't work. So I'm going to go to them and say, how's your service truck? How are your service machines? How's your fuel truck? How's all that going? Do you have any leaks? Do you have any inconsistency problems? Is your leaderage good? And that's
Going to leaderage.
Yeah.
You know, like what do you mean? You're asking someone, look, you
Yeah.
might know Cisco, but mate, I'm just a simple Sparky. So
Yeah. So basically, that's going to open a conversation for another part of the mine. So there'll be guys that order and maintain the fuel farm, and who run the production of the machines and are refueling it. And they're going to know where the machines are using a lot or a little fuel. And they're also going to have to plan the replenishment of their fuel on site. So they're going to have accurate records of what they're doing. And that's where our flow meters and stuff come into play, because that's the only way that they can control
keep
what's going
tabs
in
on
and out.
what's going on in each machine.
Yeah, and fuel is very, very expensive. And when everyone's trying to reduce their carbon footprint, so basically these types of things are also efficiency devices, as well as essential for them to be able to work out the bottom line for their machines and their mine, what it actually costs to run it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Mate, so you've just briefly touched on flow meters.
On fuel, yeah.
Yep. What else are you using flow meters for?
So every time you go to the petrol station, you're going to see a flow meter in action delivering your
I don't
fuel.
like it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. So anytime, anywhere there's a fluid that you've come in contact with, there's been a flow meter that's measured that into that device.
All fluids?
Pretty much.
Really?
If anything is for sale,
Yep.
it needs to be measured incrementally and dosed out by either weight or fluid volume. So
Yep. Okay.
So basically, flow meters go into, say, on a mine site, you'll have flow meters for the fuel farm. You'll have flow meters with the oil dispensing and all the service fluids for the truck.
Yep.
Within the process part of the mine, there might be flow meters that meter how much acids or other products go in there
And
into the mine, into the process.
yep.
Chemicals.
And so Macnaught flow meters are doing all of that.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
There's a multitude of chemicals that we can cater for with our stainless steel meters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So and you can actually come up and just look at it flowing on site, or if it's like a dangerous process, there's explosive proof flow meters. So they're EX rated, for that application.
Yeah. Okay.
Aviation fuel as well.
Yep.
And then you can basically have, like I said, I started to say, you can have a local flow meter. We can have a pulse output, which will push off to a PLC. Or you can have both.
Yep.
So basically, that
Little
flow
bit of
meter might
control
be tucked
wiring.
away over there, and you can watch it live on your screen as a part of the process. So,
Yeah, wild.
fully
that's awesome.
integrated. So, and we make those in-house in Sydney. So,
That's one thing I really like about that company is, a lot of it's in-house and you're not just doing mining, you're doing farming to aviation, mining. It's a
marine as well.
very broad, bunch of people you're servicing with your products, and to be made in Australia, you got to be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, mate, I'm always trying to fly the flag.
Yep.
Proud Aussie. And,
Same.
and I love working for an Australian-owned business, I suppose. And the fact that we export to 60 different countries really ticks a box for me, because
That's impressive.
So basically, not many people buy stuff from Australia out of Australia.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge thing.
Yeah.
Mate, mechanical workshop. So run me through, you make your way out onto site, someone's walking you around, and let's say it's a brand new installation, from the front door of the workshop, the front roller door, all the way through to the back wall, how are we fitting it out with Macnaught products?
Yep. So obviously they're going to have huge fuel tanks or oil tanks to store all this extra fluids that they have.
Yep.
And then typically that's where the Macnaught product starts with a pump. It'll be an electric pump or a pneumatic pump. And then based on how much the demand of the fluid of the flow that they want, then they will have a tailored pump to cater for that. So whether they need 5 litres a minute, whether they need 30 litres a minute, 50 litres a minute, there'll be something within that range to cater for that. And then basically onto that, there will be a hose reel. So basically you'll have a pump through piping to a hose reel. So then that's usually at the point of use. So your serviceman can easily come up and grab the hose reel, move over to the machine without any much effort, and then pump that fluid directly into the machine. So on the end of the hose reel will be a precision instrument flow meter with a dispensing gun.
Yep.
So basically that guy can, if he knows how much fluid's got to go in there, he can see by watching the gauge how many litres he's got to put in and not waste it. And then there's preset guns where you can actually preset up to 200 litres and it will just shut off right at that point.
Yep.
So that takes all the hard work and all the wastage out of it. So basically, if you're doing repetitive servicing for the same machine all the time, you know that it's 200 litres or 175 litres goes into that thing for that gearbox. You can program it, go up there, pump, and confidently know that it will shut off at exactly 175.
That's
You
a
know,
very handy
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah, you know,
like you're saying, for them repeat jobs, big time saver. That I like that.
Yeah, and so that's the oil component. Typically, on site they'll have, because they're typically running, all manner of machinery. If it's underground, they'll have boggers and that type of stuff. If
Yep.
it's above ground, they typically have dozers and graders and wheel loaders that they load, and then haul trucks. So within that spectrum, you'll have a fuel farm, and then you'll have the servicing oils and fluids component type stuff. And then typically there'll be a tyre bay. So within the tyre bay, they'll have all of our hose reels all set up with their rattle guns, etc. for their tyre maintenance.
Yep.
You'll also find the aerials in the workshop bay for the air tools and that type of stuff for tyres as well.
Yep.
Then you go through, typically if they're trucks, they'll have a service drive-through bay. So, and typically those are sort of like set up so that they're temporary because they're always shifting around the site to different places. So to cater for that, we have IBC topped dispensing systems, hard galvanised framework. You sit it on top of your IBC, you bolt that bad boy down.
For anyone not in the mining game that's watching this, what's an IBC, mate?
So it's a 1,000 litre pod. Yep. So basically it's got an external metal frame and within that's a poly liner.
Yep.
And typically it'll have any manner of fluid in there, but it's 1,000 litres.
Okay.
So that's the most economical way to dispense fluid on site and move it around. So as soon as that's empty, they just basically pull it out, take the IBC top pump system off the top, put on a new IBC, drop the hose in there and put it back in its place. So then they can maintain operations seamlessly. So you'll find that in that lineup, in that shed, there'll be 5 to 8 of those dispensing systems just sitting there on top of the IBC, the bulk container. There'll be a grease reel, so there'll be a big drum of grease there as well to service the trucks for the turntables and the moving parts. Typically, they'll have a 200 litre drum or a big Palicon container, and that will also go through a pump, a grease reel, and then a grease dispensing gun.
Okay.
Because grease is high pressure, all that stuff has to be high pressure hose.
Yep.
So basically, so when you drive in your pit, you'll have all your oils, you'll have your grease, and then you'll have your coolant. So all of our IBC dispensing kits will also do coolant premix. So you don't have to get special ones. You can use the same equipment. And obviously you're not going to get it mixed up because you can see coolant's quite different from oils and all that sort of stuff, although I have heard of people getting them mixed up somehow. Some way.
Definitely
Mate,
does happen.
Are you guys, is Macnaught supplying grease or supplying oils, supplying coolant?
No, so we only supply the products that convey the fluids.
Okay.
Yeah, we do also have waste oil products.
Yep.
So every time you've got for instance, a light car workshop, they'll put the car up on a hoist. Those oil buddies that you see with the big bowl at the top and the thing down the bottom, they're dropping your car oil into that. So we sell those things. We've got low-level oil drainers as well that you can drag around. You can put pumps on those to pump them out, so you don't have to drag that thing around all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not a car guy, mate. I don't know bugger all about vehicles or anything like that.
Definitely a handy
Never
thing
changed
when you're
that.
servicing your car.
So,
I don't think I've ever changed the oil in my car ever.
So
I've always just paid someone else to do it.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm not great. I'm not great.
At least you're not gonna mess it up then anyway.
No, that's what I always thought. I'm happy to
Put
tap
the coolant in with the oil, mate.
Nah.
So the hardest thing with all vehicle servicing is the fluids. Fluids in, fluids out.
Yeah.
And basically I sell by solution. So someone's asking me, how do I do this? So I'm going to try and give them the best solution to do that job, with the least pain and the best quality product. So because they want to be able to do it repetitively, and mining is where things got to be robust, and breakdowns cause time and problems. And if you offer the best product, then you're always going to get the best result. So and being an Australian-made product, you don't have to wait for us to get the manufacturer overseas and say, oh, how are we going with that warranty?
Yeah.
Because we have it. It's
Yeah,
our product.
not just that, like so many times, actually so many times I've reached out to a supplier and said, why the long wait? It's being shipped into the country. Obviously, sometimes you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But with an Australian-made product, then usually 60% of the time, all the time,
Yeah.
you've got that product or that parts of that product on the ground that you can dispense out to those clients that need them.
Most definitely. And the backup service and our warranties are second to none. Macnaught prides itself on, honouring its customers. We feel like we've got a deep connect to the end user of the product.
Yeah, awesome.
And solutions and innovation is how we operate. So, again, making it easier for everyone, trying to make that easier. And
Yeah, that's good. That's really good to hear from a supplier.
Yeah.
Look, I'm lucky I get to deal with some bloody ripper suppliers out there. It's not very often that you get a supplier that turns around and says, oh, well, they broke it, they bought it, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's one thing I really liked about even just your grease gun there, like, the 10-year warranty on most of the parts on that. And then, like you were saying earlier about the little service repair kits for them and whatnot, that kind of stuff's, it's a dying thing these days. Most people, most companies are usually just making tools. Once they go on, they go on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like our dads and their dads did their trades, and their tools were their product of trade. That's how they earned their money. You looked after your tools. Good tradies always look after their tools, and they always seek out the best quality tools, and the ones that do the best job, because it makes them better. With
Makes
their
your
jobs.
life easy when you're at work.
And when you've got quality product, and if it wears out, you can fix it. You've got more confidence in that product. Everything's disposable or moving that way. And whether it's like to try and lower the carbon footprint or whatever, they're making things out of disposable product, but it's not rebuildable. So we're still trying to cater for that. So I think it's really important.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Trev, thanks very much for coming in and speaking with us. It's much appreciated. It's, like as I said previously, we're working with some pretty awesome suppliers, and we've got some great suppliers that have come in, and we've got a bloody long list of suppliers that are yet to come in and sit down and talk with us. I hope you enjoyed your time here today.
Yeah, it was great to have a good chat with you guys beforehand, to feel the vibe, to understand what you're trying to do, to try and take the pain away from the guys on site.
Yep.
To try and get that exposure of the product without them having to go through too much trauma, and to connect and to make sure that you believe in what you're buying. I really think there's a lot of value in that, and I 100% believe in the company and the products.
Yep, that's awesome.
Like,
I think that goes a
100%.
long way.
Yeah,
You've got to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And mate, you have also kindly, or Macnaught, has kindly donated
a couple of K29 grease guns.
Awesome, beautiful.
And a few of these little retractor look-alike tape measure things for a bit of fun.
Awesome, mate. So we'll get some of those out to some of our viewers.
Yeah, I'm sure if you reach out to Josh and tell him how badly you want one of these top-notch grease guns, I'm sure he'll be able to hook you up.
Yeah, we'll sort something out, mate. We'll definitely we'll get some of these awesome products out to our viewers, no doubt about it.
Awesome. Glad to be a part of it, guys. Thank you.
Well, everyone, thanks very much for tuning in once again to the Gold Room. The content hopefully is getting better and better. Follow us while we take our suppliers from the mite to the mine site. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Thanks very much.